Download this code from codegive.com, link in the description below. Refreshing data in Power Query in Excel is a common task for users who need to keep their datasets up to date. However, you might encounter situations where refreshing a query twice is necessary to get the expected results. This could be due to dependencies between queries or data sources that require multiple refreshes to update properly. Why refresh twice? One dependency on other queries. If your query relies on another query, the first refresh may load the data for the dependent query, but not fully update the primary query until the second refresh is performed. 2. Data source changes. If the data source you are connecting to needs time to process updates, the first refresh may pull in stale data, while the second refresh fetches the new data. 3. Cache issues. Sometimes, Power Query can cache results in a way that requires a second refresh to clear out and get the latest data. 4. Complex transformations. If your query involves several transformations or merges, it can sometimes be necessary to refresh multiple times to ensure all transformations are applied correctly. Fixing refresh issues with code example. To address the need for refreshing twice in Power Query, you can use some techniques in the M language, the formula language used by Power Query, to manage dependencies and ensure data is loaded correctly. Below is a step-by-step guide on how to implement a workaround. Example scenario. Let's say you have two queries. One sales data. This query pulls sales data from a database. 2. Total sales. This query aggregates sales data from the sales data query. You might need to refresh total sales twice to get the correct total if sales data is updated or modified. Step 1. Load your data. First, you would load your sales data in Power Query. Let source equals SQL.database, server name, database name. Sales data equals source schema equals DBO, item equals sales data. In sales data. Step 2, create the total sales query. Next, create the total sales query that references sales data. Let source equals sales data. Total sales equals table.sum, source, sales amount. In total sales. Step 3, refresh twice using a custom function. To ensure that total sales gets the updated value, you can create a custom function to refresh it twice. Here's how you can do that. 1. Create a function for refreshing. Let refresh twice equals let first refresh equals sales data. Second refresh equals total sales. In second refresh. In refresh twice. 2. Call the function. You can then call this function to ensure that your totals are updated. Let final total sales equals refresh twice. In final total sales. Conclusion. By using a custom function to manage the refresh process, you can ensure that your data is accurately updated in scenarios where a single refresh isn't sufficient. This method allows you to programmatically handle the refresh logic and mitigate issues arising from data dependencies in Power Query. Additional tips. Use query dependencies. In the Power Query editor, check the Manage Dependencies pane to ensure that queries are structured correctly. Monitor data source performance. If you often need multiple refreshes, consider evaluating the performance and configuration of your data source. Keep queries simple. Complex queries can lead to refresh issues. Keep your transformations as straightforward as possible. By following this guide, you should be able to better manage refresh issues in Power Query, leading to more reliable data updates in Excel.